We're going to be taking a look at plasma fibroblast therapy. I'll be honest, before we got this request, I didn't know a whole lot about this one.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, and to get us started, we've got some really interesting sources to dig into. We've got a training manual written by Susan Mouton. She's a practitioner based out in South Africa. And we've also got an audio review from someone who actually went through plasma fibroblast training. But before we get too far, can you remind me what exactly got us on this deep dive in the first place? What was it that caught our listeners' attention with plasma fibroblast?
Well, it seems like they were really interested in the range of applications, especially for skin concerns. They'd heard it could be used for everything from wrinkles and scars to things like uneven pigmentation, maybe even more. So they wanted to know, what's the real deal with plasma fibroblast?
Yeah, it seems like people are hearing these almost too good to be true claims, and they're not sure what to believe. And that makes sense, especially with something as, well, let's just say involved as plasma fibroblast seems to be. But before we go too far down the rabbit hole, let's start with the basics. What actually is plasma fibroblast therapy?
Right, we need to define our terms here.
Exactly. Like, the book keeps using the term non-surgical, but what does that even mean in this context?
Yeah, non-surgical can be a bit of a vague term.
Right, because technically, even a facial is non-surgical, right?
Exactly. But in the case of plasma fibroblast, we're talking about a procedure that uses a device to create a very precise plasma arc.
A plasma arc. Like, already sounds a little more intense than a facial.
It does, doesn't it? But the key here is precise.
So we're not talking about, like, shooting lasers at people's faces.
Not exactly, though I can see where you'd get that idea. This plasma arc is used to interact with the skin's surface in a very controlled way.
So instead of cutting into the skin, this arc, what does it?
Well, the book uses the term sublimation. Essentially, it means that the plasma arc vaporizes a very targeted area of the skin, almost like it's disappearing.
It vaporizes. Okay, now that definitely sounds a little more intense than your average facial.
It's definitely a step up in terms of, let's say, technological involvement.
But how does zapping your skin with anything actually make it look better?
That's where the really fascinating part comes in. See, this sublimation process, it triggers the skin's natural healing response.
So your skin is like, whoa, what was that? And then kicks into overdrive to repair itself.
Basically. And a big part of that healing response is an increase in collagen and elastin production.
And those are the things that help keep our skin looking, firm and youthful and all that.
Exactly. Collagen provides structure and support, while elastin gives it that bounce-back quality. So by stimulating their production, plasma fibroblast essentially tricks the skin into rejuvenating itself.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is becoming such a sought-after treatment.
Yeah.
It's like you're not just covering up the problem, you're actually addressing it at a deeper level by prompting your body's own repair mechanisms.
Right, it's not just a Band-Aid solution.
Exactly. But, and maybe this is getting ahead of ourselves a bit, the book hints that plasma fibroblast isn't just for wrinkles, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are all these other skin concerns it mentioned too.
Oh, absolutely. And that's actually a big part of what makes plasma fibroblast so intriguing. It's not just about erasing wrinkles. We're talking about potentially addressing things like acne scars, uneven pigmentation, even things like minimizing the appearance of stretch marks.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking a pretty wide range of applications here. No wonder people are so curious about it. It's like, if it can really do all that, it seems like it'd be, I don't know, more well-known, more talked about, maybe?
That's a really interesting point, and it's something that we should definitely circle back to as we go deeper into these sources, because the potential of plasma fibroblast and why it might not be as mainstream as you'd expect, those are definitely worth exploring.
It's like, is it really this miracle solution, or are there some caveats that we need to be aware of?
Exactly, and that's where having multiple perspectives, like we do with this training manual and the audio review, becomes so valuable.
I'm excited about everything that you have done. I think what you have done is huge. You have done more than I did my training with, and I spent $6,000 for my plasma pin course. It was $5,000, and then it's not right. It's not right to give the good, thorough training that we all need, because that is the reason why there is not a lot of successful people in this business.
This is a serious issue. The plasma fibroblast industry is booming, but unfortunately, not everyone is getting the proper training they need to be successful. This can lead to poor results for clients, and even worse, potential safety risks. It's so crucial to do your research and see their reviews of real people before investing in any training program. Look for programs that are comprehensive, which cover all aspects of the procedure and prioritize safety. Don't be swayed by fancy marketing or promises of quick riches. The plasma fibroblast industry has the potential to be amazing, but it's up to us to ensure that everyone is getting the proper training and education they need to succeed. Don't let your dreams be exploited. Do your research, choose wisely, and let's make this industry a safe and successful one for everyone.
So let's talk about this audio review. What stood out to you?
Well, the first thing that jumped out at me was just how much this person invested in their plasma fibroblast training. So they clearly went into this wanting to become a qualified practitioner, but here's the kicker. They felt like the training wasn't comprehensive enough.
Seriously, after dropping that much money, what did they feel like was missing?
Well, they actually specifically compared their training materials to what we're seeing in Susan Mouton's book.
Oh, interesting. And what did they say?
They said that the book goes into way more detail about the actual procedures, different techniques, even potential problems that can arise, things their training didn't cover adequately.
So they felt like they were kind of thrown to the wolves, even after spending all that money on training.
That's how it sounds, yeah. And what's even more concerning is they saw this as a symptom of a much bigger issue. They believe the industry is becoming flooded with practitioners who aren't adequately prepared to be performing these treatments.
So it's like, even if you find someone who's technically certified, there's no guarantee they actually know what they're doing.
Right, and that's a really scary thought, especially when you're talking about a procedure that has the potential to cause real harm if not done properly.
They even went so far as to say that the industry is facing a serious issue with these undertrained practitioners.
It definitely raises some red flags.
Especially when you consider that we're not just talking about like a bad haircut here. Plasma fibroblast, from what we've gathered, is a procedure that can have lasting effects on your body, both positive and negative.
Absolutely, and that's where the ethical considerations come into play. Because if there's this potential for harm, then the industry has a responsibility to ensure that practitioners are adequately trained.
Right. It's not just about making a profit. It's about protecting the people who are putting their trust and their bodies in the hands of these practitioners.
Exactly. And that's a perfect segue into discussing the ethical considerations surrounding plasma fibroblast more deeply.
You took the words right out of my mouth. But before we get into all that, let's take a quick break to gather our thoughts and maybe grab a drink. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and we're ready to really dig into the ethical side of all of this.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because on the surface, we're talking about wrinkles and scars and things like that. But when you really start peeling back the layers, there's this whole other dimension of responsibility that comes into play.
Totally. Like, we all want to look our best, right?
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Exactly. And that's where those concerns about undertrained practitioners become especially troubling. Because if someone isn't properly equipped to handle potential complications, well, let's just say the consequences can go beyond just a disappointing outcome.
You're talking about, like, permanent damage.
Potentially, yes. Remember how we were talking about how plasma fibroblast triggers the skin's natural healing response?
Yeah.
Well, that healing process is delicate, and if the treatment is performed incorrectly, if the skin barrier is compromised too deeply, or if the wrong settings are used for a particular skin type, you could end up with issues like hyperpigmentation, scarring, even infection.
So it's not just about whether the practitioner can, like, hold the device correctly. There's a real need for a deeper understanding of how the skin is going to react.
Precisely. And that's why this idea of informed consent is so crucial.
Informed consent, what do you mean by that?
It basically boils down to this. Clients need to be fully aware of the potential risks and benefits of any procedure before they agree to it.
Oh, right, like signing the waivers before you get Botox or fillers?
Sure, those waivers are part of it, but it's more than just a signature on a piece of paper. It's about having an open and honest conversation with your practitioner, asking questions, and making sure you feel completely comfortable with the level of risk involved.
So how does someone who's considering plasma fibroblast, how do they make sure they're getting that informed consent? What should they be looking for?
Well, for starters, don't be afraid to ask your practitioner about their training and experience. Where did they get certified? How many procedures have they performed? Have they dealt with any complications? And if so, how did they handle them?
It's kind of like finding a good doctor, right? You want someone who's not only qualified, but who you also trust and feel comfortable with.
Exactly. And don't be shy about shopping around. It's your body, your face, and you deserve to feel confident in the person you're entrusting it to.
That's such an important point. And it makes me think about something we touched on earlier, this idea that plasma fibroblast isn't as widely known or talked about as you might expect, given its potential benefits.
Right, and it's hard to say for sure why that is. But I wonder if part of it could be this very issue of practitioner quality. If there are a lot of people out there offering the treatment without the proper training or experience, that could lead to negative experiences and word of mouth that might discourage others from even considering it.
It's like one bad apple spoiling the bunch, kind of.
In a way, yes. And it highlights just how important it is for reputable practitioners to be vocal about their commitment to ethical practices, to informed consent, and to ongoing education in the field.
Because ultimately, it's about raising the bar for the entire industry.
Right.
Making sure that everyone who's offering this treatment is doing so with the highest standards of care and responsibility.
Absolutely. And that brings us to an interesting point about Susan Mouton, the author of the training manual we've been discussing.
Oh, right. I almost forgot about her. She's the one based in South Africa, right?
Yes, and her location adds an interesting layer to our conversation because it shows that this whole discussion about plasma fibroblast, its benefits, its risks, the importance of ethical practice, it's not just a localized phenomenon, it's a global conversation.
That's a really good point. So the fact that she's emphasizing these things in her training manual, does that suggest that maybe these ethical concerns are, like, universal? That it's not just a matter of different countries having different standards?
It certainly suggests that there are shared concerns regardless of where you are in the world. And it reinforces this idea that the pursuit of beauty, of aesthetic enhancement, it's something that transcends geographical boundaries.
Totally. It's like we all want to look and feel our best. And sometimes those desires lead us to seek out these treatments, these technologies that promise to help us achieve those goals. But as we've been discussing, those desires also come with a responsibility to educate ourselves, to ask the hard questions, and to make sure that we're not sacrificing our health or our well-being in pursuit of those goals.
Well said. And I think that's a great note to transition into the next part of our discussion, which delves even deeper into the specifics of plasma fibroblasts, the different techniques, the science behind it all.
Okay, so before we move on, let's do a quick recap of what we've covered so far. We've talked about the potential risks of plasma fibroblast, the importance of finding a qualified and ethical practitioner, and the global nature of these conversations. What else am I missing?
I think you've covered the main points beautifully. We've established that plasma fibroblast is a powerful tool with a wide range of potential applications, but like any tool, it needs to be used responsibly and with a deep understanding of its capabilities and limitations.
Right. And we've also touched on the importance of informed consent and how crucial it is for clients to be active participants in their own aesthetic journeys.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to make informed decisions about their bodies and to advocate for themselves in an industry that can sometimes feel overwhelming or even intimidating.
Love that. Okay, so now that we've laid that ethical groundwork, let's get into the nitty-gritty of plasma fibroblast. What's the science behind this whole thing? How does it actually work at a cellular level?
All right, so let's break it down. So as we were discussing, plasma fibroblast, it actually works by creating those tiny little arcs of plasma energy. And those arcs, they interact with the skin's surface to create, well, it's almost like a controlled micro-injury.
Okay, so we're back to this idea of like tricking the skin into healing itself.
Exactly. See, when those micro-injuries are created, it triggers a cascade of events in the deeper layers of the skin.
Okay, so walk me through it. What's actually happening down there?
Well, first, you have the immediate reaction to the heat from the plasma arc. It causes a contraction of the skin fibers, which can lead to an immediate tightening effect.
Ah, so that's why people see results like right away.
Exactly. But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so what else is going on?
Well, over the next few days and weeks, the body kicks into full-on repair mode. It sends all those little worker cells to the site of the micro-injuries to start producing new collagen and elastin fibers.
And collagen and elastin, those are the good guys, right? The ones that keep everything looking like firm and plump and youthful and all that.
You got it. They're like the building blocks of healthy, youthful skin.
So the more collagen and elastin you have, the better your skin is going to look.
Essentially, yes. Of course, it's a bit more complicated than that. But in a nutshell, that's the basic idea behind how plasma fibroblast works. It's about stimulating your body's own natural rejuvenation processes.
Okay, I get it. But Maybe this is a dumb question, but if it's all about the body's natural healing, why can't we just scratch our faces and get the same results?
Well, because it's not just about creating any injury. It's about creating very specific, controlled micro-injuries at the right depth and with the right intensity to trigger the desired response.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's where the whole skill and training thing comes in, because you need to know exactly where to target and how much energy to use for different skin types and concerns.
Exactly. And that's why Susan Mouton's emphasis on detailed procedures and those mapping techniques we talked about, it's not just about being overly cautious. It's about understanding the science behind the treatment and using that knowledge to achieve the best possible outcomes.
So it's not just about zapping away at wrinkles, it's about understanding how the skin is going to respond at a cellular level. So to wrap things up here, it seems like we've uncovered a lot about plasma fibroblast, from the science behind it to the importance of ethical practice and informed consent. What are your final thoughts on all of this?
Well, for me, the biggest takeaway is that knowledge is power. The more you understand about a treatment, its potential benefits, its limitations, the risks involved, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions about your body and your well-being.
I love that. So to our listener, whether you're considering plasma fibroblast or any other aesthetic treatment, do your research, ask questions, and never be afraid to advocate for yourself. And thank you, as always, for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Link in the post description. Thank you so much for your support. It truly means everything. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button.